before you adjust your thermostat, try doing this. This is a Stelrad radiator, but you may well have this sort of type where they've got a cover on the side and on the top. I'm going to show you how to get these off to make cleaning it a lot easier. Why we're going to clean it is because there's a layer of dust that builds up and it acts like an insulator. So you increase the heat of the radiator to get the same amount of heat out. So if we remove the dust, it makes it more efficient. So let's have a look at how we get this one off. I've got some clips to take off. You may or may not have these, like some of mine have, some of mine haven't. They're really easy to break, but if you just get down the side and prise one side up and then try and get the other side out, it's quite a big clip on there. Don't force it. See, there's quite steep shoulders, so they're easy to break. Be careful with that. And we've got this little clip here. It hooks in at the top and clips in at the bottom. But be careful because again, it's very fiddly and easy to break. Once you get your fingers off, just pull it down slightly. See, there's two hooks there and then 3 clips at the bottom. We've got 2 of these, one the other side. Now at the bottom, we've got this plastic clip and you can see that there's a gap at the top. Now when we take this panel off, we're going to slide it up because there's like a slot here where this clip sits in. So we've got to spin this clip 180 degrees. You may well be able to just turn yours, but I have no luck with that. The easiest way to do this, just to get your hands behind the trim panel, use the valve to lever against and then just give it a good tug and then off it comes. You can then pull this clip out. And when we put this back together, we'll put it this way so that next time we can just lift it up. Now this one's a little bit different because I've got this cupboard in the way. The real world's kind of like that. But I've got my thumbs behind it, give it a tug, and it comes off like that. Now you may well have one of these little plastic fittings on where the bleed valve sits. If you have, same as me, we're going to do the other side first. And what we need to do is we need to lever this panel out, but it's going to hit the valve. If you pull this cover off, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room. So we just need to give it a little bit of assistance in getting past this blank. So all you do is, if you lift the top panel up and then get your hand in here, this is where you use the screwdriver and just very gently, as it comes up, if you grab hold of the bottom of this panel, as it comes up, just give it a little lever and it'll come past that. Don't go mad because you don't want to bend this because this stuff's only thin, it's 1 millimeter thick, something like that. It'd be very, very easy to bend that. And we'll lift this side off, up past the valve, leave that hanging, turn to this side, you can just lift the whole thing up. There's a little plastic clip under here, that lifts off. Go that way slightly, and then you can lift the whole thing off. Now what I do to avoid playing with these hinges, they just clip on, there's like 2 hooks. I'll set this down over a chair like that, clean the radiator, and then when I come put it back on, it's easy. I'm going to play with a thermometer now. I've cleaned this side, I haven't cleaned that side. I want to see what the difference is. So I'll pull that off and do a little test. So here we go, this is the dirty side. That's settled, it's not getting any higher. Let's move it over to this side. I'm not expecting a massive gain, but anything kind of proves the theory. There you go, it's jumping up a little bit. Is it going to settle? About a degree, I'm happy with that. So these are connected to a ground source heat pump, so they don't get as hot, they don't need to. They run for longer at a lower temperature, but it's a more constant, even heat. So you may not get the same sort of temperatures, yours will probably be higher. Also, these are only about 4 years old and they have been cleaned before, so not a massive amount of dirt in them anyway. The dirtier the radiator, the bigger difference there'll be between the clean side and the dirty side if you was to do a similar sort of test. Now to get this clip back on, when we took it off, it was sitting like this. So we're going to turn it 180 degrees so that when we put it back on, we don't have to mess around with it. To get it back on, it's as simple as put it in from behind, get one side in, give it a little squeeze, get the other side in, and then make sure you've got a nice big gap here to get your pipe work through. Now to put this on, we're going to do it the reverse of how we took it off. Put this side in first because that side we've got more room because it hasn't got the bleed valve. Slide the thing over, slot it in at the bottom, just let it sit there for a minute. Just make sure you got this either side of the radiator, and then we'll come around this way, push it in past our valve, and if all looks good, we just push it down and then push the bottom in. Remember when we pulled the clips off? Push that down. So once that's down, put your little clip back on. What we've got to do now is these covers for the valves, and they just hook in at the top and clip in. There's 2 hooks at the top, so put the top in first, lift it up, hold it up, and then very gently just wiggle the bottom 3 clips in until it clips into place. It doesn't take that long, and what it costs you in time taking this apart, you gain, because it's a lot quicker and easier to clean these things out. Definitely worth doing before you start turning the thermostat up. Hopefully this one's helped you out. If you can, like and subscribe, help me grow the channel. I'll see you on the next one.